think that that's very accurate. And I mean, I think that we're going to look back on what 2020 was, and obviously we're not through this thing, and we're, you know, a quarter of the way through 2021. But this has been a huge shift in terms of our consciousness as humanity, in terms of everything that happened in 2021, the Black Lives Matter movement, the political race, the pandemic, everything that was just kind of this melting pot of change. And it was uncomfortable, and we continue to feel that. You brought up cancel culture, and one thing that, in relation to what you were talking about earlier, that I think is so dangerous with cancel culture is it doesn't allow people to grow. Mm-hmm. We become so afraid of making a mistake that we don't say anything. And that's not where we need to be right now, as all of us. And I think that we need to be having the uncomfortable conversations about race. We need to be having the, those conversations with our family members, we need to use our platforms. We need to be bringing issues to the forefront. But if we're so scared that we're going to get canceled, that we're going to say the wrong thing, that something's not going to be perfectly worded or politically correct, we need to feel, I think, as people, that we can make mistakes and not be persecuted for them. And, not that we shouldn't be held accountable, but that these mistakes end up in potentially getting canceled. That's just dangerous. It's really dangerous. And I think that whole kind of movement around this person's done, like this, 23-year-old said this thing, they're done forever. Like that is so, it's dangerous. And I'm worried that, this next generation and all of our generations that we're living through right now are going to be so paralyzed that we just don't say anything because we don't want to be called out. And the fear of getting called out is greater than the fear than the action of speaking truth.
Well said. People need to think about that. You need to think about why you do and don't say something and what's in line with your truth. And I feel like if there's one thing that you have done so well with your music, through your music, with yourself, but through your music, is be honest. And you talk about things that are happening in culture that people aren't talking about. You talk about things that are happening with yourself that people aren't talking about with themselves personally. And so it makes me kind of want to ask the question, what do you want to say? What do you want to tell people? What do you want to say to them? What do you want to wake them up to? How do you want to, how can we elevate our consciousness to the point where we can all start to get along? Like, look, I have friends we don't all believe in the same thing at all. And that's what I realize is that we all get along great as people. I'm like, wow, there's all these surface level beliefs that are different, but we have an amazing time together and have so much fun. And we're so much more alike than we are different. And so how I don't know, you're a change maker through your platform. What do you want to say?
Oh, Adam, that's a huge question. I do think that what you're talking about is interesting though, in terms of your friendship groups. I think that with, how intense it got with Trump, it really created a line in the sand in terms of, who you could even be friends with, like the family members that you would talk to or not talk to. Like it got that divisive. And that's also, when it's just black or white, when it's just, you're on this side or that side, those are really, that's a scary place for society to be in. There's no nuance. And it is something that makes what makes our country, so interesting is that we have people from all different walks of life. We are an extremely diverse country as a whole. And yet if we're either have to pick right or left, then we're not getting into the core belief system of what really makes this integral experience of humanity, like even the ability to connect or to see differences. Like I completely had the same experience. And I think that with friendship groups of not feeling the same, not being aligned, I don't grow if I'm just around like-minded people. I don't actually, I'm not pressed to actually think about a different way of life. When I've opened up my circle, and, you know, honestly, a big part of this did come through recovery. When I opened up my circle and I'm like, damn, I didn't think that I would have anything in common with you. I judged you. I looked at the way that you were dressed. I looked at the car that you pulled up in. I looked at the accent that you had. I looked at, you know, how you sat. I looked at the coffee that all these things that are subconsciously happening that we are just stacking up to judge somebody who they are. All of that math was completely wrong. It was completely wrong. And actually who you truly are at your core, I love. And looking for the similarities rather than the differences. I think that it's so easy to look at the differences and be like, no, we don't add up. That doesn't make sense. That's not what I believe in. And it's more complex than that. And the other thing, the internet makes all of this worse, right? The internet is a place where people, you know, it's like when you have a conversation with someone, there's people that I have great conversations with, but when they text me, I'm like, this is like a completely different person. Like this level of communication is horrible. Like, you know, and then I'm like, damn, like they really, this is so bizarre. And then I talk to them in person and I'm reminded, oh yeah, when you type something out and press upload or send or comment or whatnot, there is no tone to that. There is no personality to that. And people speak in absolutes, and they have a next level of bold expertise that might not exist in real life when you're one-on-one. So I think that these are all more reasons why community is important, and having a different set of community that's bigger than just an insular one where we can actually learn from one another.